natural. And did you put a description on there too, Sean?
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, I think, hey, Sean, we're going to go to the Chicken Shack.
Yeah. You guys going there?
Yep.
Good beer and Facebook's live.
Good beer and good
we're
beer, good
rolling.
chicken.
We're rolling on the air now, Gary. Don't announce that.
Don't announce that?
Yeah, we'll be.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Right on.
And gonna have a great show. Gonna have Gary talking about how he's lived this long, which is an amazing.
That's an amazing feat.
Amazing.
In and of itself.
Must be all that good Chinese food.
Considering the first 30 years, it's amazing we're both here. I'll tell you that.
That's right. How can that happen?
Yeah, what's going on with that? Okay, and we're going to share the show now, so if anybody's out there, go ahead and share it up.
Share, share, share.
Please, please,
Yes.
please.
Yes. Lots of viewers, please. We're
Please.
gonna have a good time today.
Yep, absolutely.
That's you. Oh, it's my phone.
Yep.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Oh boy, what a week. You know, it's always funny when Friday is here at 2 o'clock. This is such an outpost for me now. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
That 2 o'clock on Friday is like my whole world revolves around that hour
Yeah.
every week. You know?
Yeah, this
Amazing.
is your respite.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the and you know because we're in production.
Sure.
It is like the only steady
Only
thing,
time.
the only thing that you count on. You
consistent,
know what I
that
mean?
you
That
can control,
consistently
yeah.
every week. Yeah.
It's true.
That you have to deal with it. You have to do it. You know. Yeah, that's. I love it. I love it, and you know, I mean, that's what too. I think that's why a lot of people, as we're talking about this, that they don't last in this business because it's very hard to discipline yourself. I mean, I'm somebody who I consider with almost no self-discipline, you
Sure,
know?
sure.
And I think that's why I was kind of attracted to this business in the first place because I had to actually manage myself.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like it was, no one was going to make me do the callback.
Sure.
No one was going to make me do the follow through, you know, or certainly get everybody organized and get up
Yeah.
at 3 a.m. to be there at 5 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all was on you. And I think that's what actually, I know it helped me personally
Sure.
as a person, you know,
Sure.
but I think that's why I fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's a dog eat world out there,
Yeah.
and if nobody's watching the chicken coop,
Yeah. Yeah.
things are going to start falling
Oh,
apart.
no,
So
you're gonna be
it's a
eating the dog
constant
food.
daily. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be eating the dog food
Yeah.
or the
Yeah,
chicken feed.
The chicken feed, one of the two. You know, and I think that's what a lot of people miss about the importance of being in this business. Is it's so much about you and what your own capabilities are, your own morals. Are you looking for just a way out? Are you looking for an excuse? Because all those things go away when it's you.
Oh yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah. The
that's-
door closes, and it's all about you and your cell phone.
Other people affect you. Other people have power over you.
Sure.
They can hire you or not hire you. That's fine, you know. But it's all the way you navigate those things that really makes the difference on how well you're going to do.
Yeah, it's so true. So
Shout out
true.
to cameraman Steve watching in Sacramento.
Cameraman Steve watching in Sacramento. Cameraman Steve, I love your stuff too, dude. Believe me, I'm checking it out all the time on Facebook. So yeah, thank you for that. That's great work. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.
All right. 1 minute.
1 minute
minute
away.
to
1
go.
minute from tea time.
Yeah, makeup, please. Makeup. Where's the makeup gal?
Oh, there's not enough makeup in this building, Gary.
To cover us.
There's not enough makeup here. I am so sorry. You know, I was thinking about we should do the hostage show sometime, both with bags on our heads.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Do
yeah.
that?
The hostage show.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. Can't break out of work.
Yeah.
Can't break out of work.
Yeah,
What
I
do
don't like
do?
pain, so I talk right away. I'd give up all the secrets.
It's like me. It's like you know, would you sell out? Yeah, as soon as I find somebody buying.
hey.
Yes.
Hey, Somebody does my work at half the rate. I'll give up.
Oh, you're there. We're there.
10.
All right, here we go.
Ready to bring us down?
Here we go. Hey everybody, how you doing? Friday, 2 o'clock. Got to be Burnie's Applebox here with my main man, Gary Heimann.
Made it back.
Made it back, finally back. I know you've been gone a couple months,
That's
dude.
right. I was wandering through the desert looking for the tablets, and I looked like I made it back to Burnie's
The Wandering
Applebox.
Jew, yeah. I mean,
The Wandering
there's a
Jew.
reason God brought you back here,
That's
Gary.
true.
I want you to
That's
know
true.
that.
Yeah.
I want you to know
I
that.
came here to double my rate, so.
You came to the right place,
Oh,
my
thank
brother.
goodness,
You came
thank
to the right
goodness,
place.
Thank goodness.
Oh, I guess I'm like Bernie the Baptist now.
Yeah, Bernie
right?
the
Yeah.
Baptist.
Okay, good enough. Well, with that little, let's introduce the guys. Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, hey, Sean,
Hey, how you doing,
Tony.
everyone?
Come
We're all
on,
here.
come on, get in here.
Yeah,
get in
Gene,
here.
yeah,
Gene,
pop
in.
Gene,
Gene,
pop
Gene, the
in.
dancing machine. There.
Put your hand in there all
Yeah,
the
put
way.
your hand in.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
put your
there,
hand in.
There it
there
is,
is Gene.
Yeah, another free lunch.
Yeah,
What
another
do you
free
do?
lunch. I can't afford Gene.
can't afford
I can't
Gene.
afford Gene after the show.
Got a
He said he's
up-to-date
going to
rate
put
again.
bacon on whatever he gets. So
Yeah,
that's
bacon.
That's $2 extra.
Bacon.
But you know what? It's so appropriate. We're sitting here doing this show with my good buddy Gary Heimann, who was one of the first people I met when I got into the business so many years ago, which is now, I'm going to say I was probably fully entrenched in the business in '93. And when I say fully entrenched, that means I could pay rent.
Yeah,
That's what that
yes,
boils
yes,
down to.
yes,
That
it's
was
true.
the success. That was the line of success for me when I started. That
That's
was
so
the
true.
line of success.
And how much was that rent back then, Bernie?
You know, back then it was like $600. You know what it is now?
Well, how much is it now?
$2,600.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I tell you what, that's, you know, and I don't want to get off course right
Sure.
now, but that's a big thing. Rent has always been my barometer about how well I'm doing. You know what I mean? But in starting those days, I met you around 93, 94, somewhere in there. You know,
That's
you were
right.
the only guy that I know had been a freelancer for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't even know anyone else that had been,
that's true.
you know, that much of a freelancer. So you know, learning the business, doing that, who would have thought 20 some years later, we would be sitting here talking about longevity? Because now, Gary and I are we're not the, you know, it's hard to describe this, but we're not the last two guys that are still in the business from when we started. But we are probably the last two guys who are still in the business that are doing roughly the same thing, right? And for that matter, I think that we probably, if you were to go back to that time and then look at this 26, 27 years later, we have probably lost, I don't think this is an exaggeration. When I say lost, I don't mean died, but they're not in the business anymore. It must be 90%. Conservatively, 90% of the people that were in the
Our
business
original clients.
are original clients and original contemporaries.
Yes.
Because the
yes.
contemporaries were a whole different group of people. We were small fries then.
yeah.
We were scrapping for the low jobs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we had to get. But I started thinking about that this week, you know, because we had a conversation earlier in the week too and talked a little bit about that. But I thought, you know, what does it take for longevity? And the barometer of how your career and how well you handled your career is really in longevity. You know, now you can stop anytime you like, right? You can get out of the top of your game or whatever. Most people don't because they're making a living and stuff like that. And I started thinking about, what does it take to ensure some longevity? Because we didn't think about this going forward. We thought about this in retrospect now. So I put together some pieces in a list here that tells you what it is. And I realized halfway through it, I didn't do most of them. You know that? I know it now,
Now.
but I didn't do most of them. They cost me something. That cost me something by not doing it. So I wanted to get over and I want to get your feedback too. I want to hear where you guys are at. I want to know how long you've been in the business. Are you dominating your market now? I mean, has time been a friend to you or an enemy? I guess that's what I want to know.
Sure.
And of course, if we can give you any advice, we're more than happy to give you.
Yeah,
any
and we'd
advice,
like to
but-
steal some of your ideas.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Whatever you got out there, we'd like
You know
to
what?
exchange
That's
ideas.
that's going to be
Yeah,
one of my
steal
other things.
ideas. That's it. How to last in this business.
You know what? But I'll tell you something, and let's start out this way. Let's start it because that is actually a very good cue. I remember when I met you, and it was down, I can tell you right where it was. It was at Roland Studios down there in South Orange County.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? We were doing a little thing. Tom McDonald, I think, was DPing. He had his first truck then, little like
Cube truck.
yeah, bread truck or whatever. And we were there, and I got to meet you, and I thought, God, this guy knows everything. Well, you started telling me something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it was very basic. It was very simple. Like when the client calls, you call them right back. I mean, I don't even know that much. Then. I
Right.
think, oh, I'll call the guy later. Oh, I got a phone call. You know what I mean? Like it was a casual thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, it's right on it.
Yeah.
So when you say steal your secrets, you know what I mean? That's the number one thing in longevity is watch what your contemporaries are doing all of the time and emulate it. You know,
Yes.
find your own spin on it or copy outright. I don't really care. But if it's working and it's working for you, utilize that because that's where you learn everything in this business.
That's so true. And you brought up a good point too, Bernie, that when a client does call,
Yeah.
even when you're on set,
Yep.
you got to figure out when that first break is to
Get
give
out
him
there.
a call because he is number one right now because
Yep.
he's the future work coming in.
That's right. That's right. You got that job.
Right.
You got to make time to get the next job.
Get the next job.
Yeah, yeah,
Always
and that's
fishing.
so important. And most people, this is one thing, and this plays into it too quite big. I know when people will call me and we will have a discussion. That discussion lasts several minutes. They feel like I've answered their question. They feel secure. They do not want to move under any circumstances. They got this thing locked down. They don't know another person like you. They want you. You can make that happen. I mean, but that's good phone skills. That's listening. That's knowing your business too. That's knowing what you can live with and can't live with because it's really easy in the beginning or starting where you start going down the low road because you want to make sure you get some money that day and go and doing that. I understand that. That is something you do have to do in the very beginning and stuff, but you should always, from that very moment of starting, be looking at working yourself out of that. And instead of them qualifying you, you're qualifying them.
Yes.
That'll make a huge difference in your longevity right there.
Right. And, Bern, when you're starting out, foundation is everything. Your personality, what you bring to the game. Your first couple years, you want to get toehold into this business, and you want a great reputation to start it out. That's beyond what I could say.
I mean, Gary, you start at a perfect place right there because reputation. What do people hire? How do you get referred? What do people hire on? It's all reputation. You can't buy a reputation.
Right.
You can't purchase it from somebody else. Nobody can loan you credibility.
Right.
You have to have that yourself. And that comes with learning great habits in this business and sticking to them. This business has made me such a better person, a more responsible person, a more mature person, because it was like I was saying just before the show here, it's about self-discipline. It's about disciplining yourself and making yourself get up and do it.
That's right.
And of course, the easiest, most recognizable thing is getting up and doing it and getting to work on time, bringing the right equipment, researching the scenes, researching what you need, spending that time that when you step on that set, you are the expert.
Right.
You are the expert, and you are there to see the production through, and you have a specific task
Absolutely.
to complete.
Absolutely. The one thing I found out also is that, your client is busy all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're not only working on the project they are now, but they've got other projects coming in also. And I know one thing is, there's a buddy in the business, and boy, he would just overdo calling once a week to the client, any work, any work, any
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And there's a fine line between that.
There is a fine line.
You always want to let the client know that, hey, I'm out here, I'm available, but you don't want to be begging for work.
Yes.
Because if you're not working, there's a reason.
Bingo. Bingo. If you're having trouble finding work, remember, this isn't school, okay? This is not your family time. Nobody is sitting you down telling what they did not like about your performance.
Right.
You have to figure that out.
Right.
You have to keep your ears, mind, and eyes open to figure that out. And also in this business, because you need allies, no one does it alone.
Right.
Period. If you're trying to be the Lone Ranger in this business, don't even start, because you fail.
You'll fail.
Just with that mindset, you fail.
Right.
Right. But have somebody in this business that you trust and you can discuss some personal things with. Am I doing too much of this? Give me some honest feedback of me on set. What do you think about this? Those things are going to help you. And most of the time it's not big changes, it's small changes. And once again, this is all related to longevity, because every time you step on set, you are selling yourself. And you're not just selling yourself to the director or the producer or the DP. You are selling yourself to everybody on that set.
That's right.
Talent, the other department heads. That's where your work is going to come from.
Absolutely.
Those people will refer you because they trust you.
Absolutely.
That is where it is. That is why you enhance your performance so much, to be able to go out there and do that and impress that group of people who are going to bring the money home to you.
That's so true. And, the one thing I always did on set too is not only was I trying to impress the crew, but impress the producer's client also. Because there's
so
no
important.
higher recommendation than the client's producer saying, hey, listen, great shoot. And by the way, that camera guy or lighting guy or sound guy was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I want him on the next shoot.
Yep.
And then that's your get into jail.
Get in,
card.
yeah. You know what? This is the honest to God truth, and this is more true. I remember it more vividly in the beginning of my career than I do now, and there's probably a reason for that too. But is that all of the clients that would call me and go, hey, I just wanted to call you and make sure you're available on June 6th, that we got to shoot. The client just loved you. They loved what they got. That guy does not want to go anywhere outside of having me on that set, because his client just told him that they want me. That's his job now,
Right.
is to get me on that set.
Absolutely.
And of course, that's major success, because that guy's usually
agree.
going to love it. Yeah, Tony, we got a call. We got a question. Speaking of calls, now.
Long-time viewer, first-time caller.
Oh yeah.
One of those guys. Huh?
Yeah. This is Art Bell.
Yeah.
He came back.
To go by. No. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So our good friend William Primrose.
Yes, William. William, a
and,
man.
up in the Canada.
Excellent.
Canadas.
Yes, sir.
A.
Yes, sir.
Where I am, there are very few independent small grip lighting trucks. There are large rental houses that do rent out viral vans, which are limited in what they carry, but they're very expensive. With smaller budgets today, I found a spot because I fit in with their budgets with equipment that gets the job done.
Bingo.
And it has a lot of repeat business too.
Bingo. You know what, William? That you just reinforced exactly everything I preach. And this is part of longevity too. Mm-hmm. Know your market. See, you found that one advantage there. You found the one spot that you could live in and make it work. That is huge. That's all this business is, by the way. That's a good description, by the way, of just exactly what Hollywood is. Because it's so many different vendors, it's so many different service providers out there, finding where's the opening, where's the niche. And they're changing all the time, too.
Sure.
Where is that? You find your market, you go in it, you exploit it, you become the best in that. And that is music to my ears, William. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Good statement. Very, very good statement.
Yeah,
That was great.
But you know what? I wrote a few things down here,
Mm-hmm.
Gary. So let's, and these are by no means everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there's about 30 points I put on here. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? My memory's not so good, so the last one might be the same as the first one. But what I'm saying on this is take each one of these, think about it, roll it around a little bit, and see how it fits in
Sure.
for you. But there's something here we can discuss on
I'm sure
all of these things. First of all, here's what I would like to tell you is clear your head of the statement or the thought of we do it this way.
Right.
Right now, you do it this way.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow, you may not want to do it that way. And you know what? Somebody else, if you don't like it, somebody else is figuring out a way to change it. First of all, forget that is it. And I'll tell you, this has been such a big thing for me too, in going in my business, in the lighting business, which has changed in the last 5 years hugely. You know what I mean? Well, usually I use these instruments because I own them. And I do this because that's the way I've always done it, right? And I look at that and stuff, and then I look at the younger filmmakers coming up and go, what are they using? Quasars. I never even got that. I never even understood that. That was kind of after my time. I always used Kino flows. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I really found myself starting to that 1, 2, 3, like, oh, I don't do that. Oh, I don't do that. Oh, I don't do that. I got to get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Anything in my mind, forget how you did it, learn it new. Learn it new, and that's what's going to keep you going down the road. Forget about telling any young person you're not doing it right, okay? Throw that out. Nobody cares if you think you're doing it right or not. If you're gonna help somebody from making a mistake, I'm not talking about that. But I'm just saying, like if you're stuck in your ways of what you do and you want to continue on, change up, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Change up.
You got to be flexible in this business.
Yes.
There's no other way.
There is no other way.
Yeah, you can't have a mindset, and that's the only way to do it. I'm on set a lot of times, and the younger people like Sean will say, "Hey, why don't we try it this way?" And I'll go, "Oh, that's not gonna." In my head, I'm thinking, and all of a sudden he presents a shot to me, and I went, "Oh, wow, that does look great." So there you have it.
There you have it.
And
there you
that one
have it.
shot could win over the client. That could be the game changer.
Dude, I'll tell you, we had no problem listening to other people when we started out. And you know what that did to us? That propelled our career. It's the same now. When you've been into it for 20 years, open your ears, listen to people, try something. We are an experimental industry,
Absolutely.
right? Nobody's figured
There's
out the formula.
There's no formula.
Nobody's figured out the formula. I'll
No,
guarantee
no.
you that. I'll guarantee. Okay, let's move on to the next
Sure.
one here. This is always be aware of who's doing what, and this is why I loved William's statement there so much, is because that he did just what I'm talking about right here. He was in an area that wasn't big players.
Right.
And he knew the big players could take care of the outside. But what he needed is that small, thin line of that group of people that would hire him because he was right in the place where they needed him to be.
Right.
And that's what he saw. He looked out there in the scenery and he goes, who's doing what? That's filling that niche. That's filling that void. That's doing, no one's here.
No one's there.
That's where I want to go.
Exactly.
Because that is going to increase your chances of longevity. And that is not to say you will be at that place all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
No, you can be in that place and you can grow into what you want to grow into, but this gets you there. I'll tell you something, this next one, this is there's a lot of these things too. Like I said, there's a lot of them I haven't done throughout my career. That is why I'm presenting them, because they are important. And now I know why, because I sit here and there's places that I'm not at. There's people that I'm not with, that I realized I made some mistakes in the past, and that has led me to where I'm at today. That's okay. No crying over spilt milk.
No.
But you should know this stuff. You know what I mean? If I would have known I was making a mistake, I would have not made it.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's that simple. But here's one that I really like, and I think that we miss a lot of times, especially in social media. Always be promoting the other people you work with.
Boy, oh boy.
Nothing in this world rises you up higher than saying, I am working with the best.
Yeah.
You know that?
Always.
Nothing. And it's just like, say if I had a job with Janusz Kaminski, you know what I mean? And I throw that up. Well, everybody knows. I mean, there's Spielberg's DP,
Sure,
right?
sure.
You immediately are, your status to all your contemporaries, everybody is going, God, that guy's great. And it's, well, everybody knows that.
Yeah,
You know what
sure,
I mean?
already.
You're still the same gaffer you were the day
Right.
before and the day after you worked with them, but in everybody else you've lifted up.
Sure.
That's the same thing as promoting the people you work with. That's the exact same thing. Because you go there, you take the picture of that shoot, you put it up in social media, and you talk about the guy and say, this was such a great idea. I so love working with this person. They're so creative, whatever the situation is.
Sure.
A PA, look, because you promote everybody. You don't have to promote up. You
Right.
know what I mean? Promote everybody. Kid's working his ass off. Give him a shout out,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People love that. People
Sure.
love that.
Yes,
they
do.
eat it up.
There's that old saying, negativity brings negativity.
Oh, yes.
So, if you start slamming people on the set,
Come right back
it
to
comes
you.
right back and
Right
bites
back
you
to you.
twice as hard.
And I'll tell you what, everybody you think is listening to you and learning something, here's what they're thinking. I hope this asshole isn't bad-mouthing me out
Yeah,
there.
you better
Right?
believe it.
I mean, that's exactly what they're thinking.
true.
What you're doing is not you're telling about the other because, hey, I'm a real asshole. And I'm going to talk shit
by
on
the
you
way.
in my next set, too. I mean, much more do you need?
I
Right?
can't wait to get to the next shoot.
Talk shit about you.
You.
Yeah.
You.
It's the truth,
It's true.
right?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Okay. Here's another one. This is another one, and this is about self-awareness a little bit. Be very, very honest with yourself about what your dreams and goals are. I'll give you a very bad analogy. When I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. I didn't really want to be a rock star. I wanted to be an actor. We're talking youthful. You know what I
of
mean?
course.
There was a reason I wanted to be those things, is because I thought girls would like me.
Of course.
And I'd make a lot of money,
Sure.
right? Not bad goals. I mean,
no.
especially when you're 13, 14.
Yeah, money
you
and
know what I
women,
mean?
what the
that
heck?
kind of works out for you, yeah. But the reality is, I didn't want to be an actor.
Right.
I wanted money and girls.
Right.
Right? So that's what you have to define in your goals. What is your real goal? We all want the payoffs in society that
Sure.
The car, the home,
rewards,
the family,
yeah, the
the
rewards.
security, all of
Right.
that. We want that. Everybody wants that. That's not so strange. But having some real self-knowledge about yourself is going to put you in a direction and a line. And you know what? This is not just write it down once and you've got it. This is something that should be on your mind all the time.
Right.
And it's also easy to get off track and not think about that. And so you don't have it in front of your face. That's something you need to have it in front of you every day,
Every
what
day.
your real desires.
Every day. Everybody's counting on you
Yeah.
to get the job done right.
Right.
And you've got to, everything's, you wake up in the morning, you
Yeah.
set your day,
Yeah.
you set your goals, and then even if you don't get your goals done that day,
Right.
there's always the next day to get it done.
That's right. And I will tell you something about not truly knowing your goals is you will start waking up pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
That you have to do it because you are not going to your goal. You're just working then. You're
Right.
back in a job. You know what I mean? So it's knowing yourself and getting to that goal. That's very
Absolutely.
important. And that will increase your longevity because you'll be
That's
going the
all
right
about.
direction. Now here's one that I did do in my career, but I did it inadvertently due to circumstances that were really beyond my control. And that is reinvent yourself no longer than every 5 years. So every 5 years, you should be recycling yourself to a new thing. Now, you can stay in the same category.
Sure.
You can stay in the same lane, but you've got to either expand or contract or narrow focus to something or expand to a wider means. So in other words, you have to give everybody that impression that you're doing something different.
Right.
And that could be mostly, in my case, by social media, showing what I've got new, what I'm doing new. But it's also like this. I was a gaffer with a truck. Look, I had one van, one truck. I was a happy camper. That's all I ever had to do. But I could not rest on my laurels with that because I knew the end there. I had to reinvent myself. So I reinvented myself as, number one, larger. So I had
Right.
several trucks, more vans, so I could do more jobs. I was more of a regional purveyor
Yes.
than a local
Right.
purveyor. So there's another reinvention. Another one was at the advent of social media. I became almost like a commenter. You
Sure.
know what I mean? An influencer.
Influencer, sure.
Something like that brought people in, and I did it by promoting the industry and the people. So I really sort of reinvented myself in several ways over those years. That increased my longevity.
Absolutely.
That increased the longevity because people have something new to play off of.
You want to create a wow factor
Yes.
for people out there, and whether it be gear, education,
Yeah.
who you hanging out with, social media,
Yeah.
any of those topics.
Yeah.
You want to reinvent yourself that way, and that people will go, oh wow, look what he's doing.
Exactly.
You want to bring a
Gary.
little attention to yourself.
Exactly. And you know what? Because you just hit the nail on the head. Everybody is sitting out there looking at this screen going, oh, why is he doing that? Why am I not doing that? Why? You know what I mean? And everybody is doing that. And that's where you're changing yourself, you're reinventing yourself. That's leadership. That's
Absolutely.
leadership. And they're looking for leadership. That's what they
right.
want to hear.
That's right.
important,
That's right.
So let's keep going. Don't try to slow me down, Gary. Don't try to slow me down. Okay. Here's one, and it's kind of generalized, but I will say this. Be consistent in everything you do. Now, what I mean by that is you don't want to come, and I'll just be, use a radical thing. I got this hair. Okay, I comb my hair the same way for probably the last 40 years. I changed it
Right.
in the last month. Okay, I changed the way my hairstyle. Tony's looking at me like this now. What? What did he change? What did he change?
When I came in today,
What? Yeah, there they are.
When I came in today, I thought something looked off. I'm like, maybe you should go brush your hair.
Oh,
That's a hair and makeup question.
wow.
Oh, that's classic.
That was a good one,
That's
Tony.
classic. That's classic, dude. I never thought we'd go there. But here's what it is. It's that consistency. It's like, I wear these shirts, okay,
Right.
every single day. Every single
Right.
working day I wear this. You should see people's reaction when they see me in a t-shirt. Look, whoa, dude, where'd you get that? You know what I mean? Oh, it's out of my drawer. You know what I mean? It's a t-shirt. But people love the consistency of a
absolutely.
look, of something they know. If you answer the phone in the same way every time, a friendly greeting,
Yes,
something, a
yes.
quick note, a salutation at the end.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying is that people will trust consistency.
Consistency, I agree.
And that tells more about you than just it being off and, oh, no, I'm doing this now. Oh, I got this. You know what I mean? That confuses people.
Yeah.
People want to stay away from confusion.
Absolutely.
Good,
Absolutely.
good.
I agree.
How do you like my hair? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
nice,
Okay,
very
good.
nice. I
Thank
got to
you,
brush
thank
on
you.
the car.
Okay, here's another one. and this sort of goes without saying, but you have to really think this one through because this is something different. You know what I mean? Here's the statement is continually be recruiting new clients.
Oh,
Okay, right? Because that can never stop. That can never stop. But if you're out trying to recruit the same level of clients that you're leaving from or trying to replace, that is a big, big mistake.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you have to remember, you should continually be going for top of the market, you know? And I'm going to say this too in this, we may come back to this, but I'm just going to say this in this. You should be continually trying to recruit new clients, and with that, it should be, they obviously have to be bigger. They have to be a better thing, you know what I mean, for you to go into. But if you try to get a client that, say, is going to give you 50% of your income or something like that, you have just signed your own death warrant. No client, when I'm saying this, because like I said, we may come back to this, but I just want to be clear about this, is that no client should be more than 15% of your portfolio. So if your biggest client dumps you, you've still got 85% of your
waiting
money.
for you.
And you know what? There is the toughest thing in this business to do, because we all have a very natural thing to like go to security, right? Oh, this guy's keeping me busy all the time. Now, if you're a single player, like I was for so many years, single truck, single van, and stuff like that, you're going to get sucked into that. But I'll tell you, the way that you do it is you start finding a way to replace yourself. Either replace yourself for the jobs that you need to turn down because you're working for this guy as often as you can. So you put another person in another, you know, hopefully your van out there or truck or whatever it is, camera, whatever it is.
Sure.
But you do that. But you have to find a way to negotiate that, because if you start with this 50%, I guarantee you, most producers and production companies, rarely do they live past 5 years.
Right.
But most of them aren't at their peak anymore after 3 years. They start up, they peak, and then they start going down because of a lot of reasons.
Absolutely.
You know? So that's one thing. So continually be recruiting new clients. Be replacing your old clients with higher paying clients.
Yes.
But don't get caught in the trap of making that client be 50% or a big percentage of your income, right?
So true, Bern. Yeah,
All right.
Yep,
All right.
I'll agree.
All right. I'm not going to grill you on that one.
Oh, thank God there won't be any math. Oh goodness.
Okay.
Tony's got something.
You got something, Tony?
Oh, thank
We got
goodness.
something?
You do, yeah.
Hey.
I can take a shot of vodka.
I was told to do this, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
All right. Whatever, Tony. It seems
was
a
that a
little
high
bit like.
five?
No, I think that could have been a little sexual harassment there.
Wow.
All right.
Anyway, we got a couple of comments. First from Bobby Fever.
Bobby Fever, the man himself. I love Bobby. Been a longtime friend with me on Facebook, 10 years. Bobby is the man. Bobby is the guy I'm talking to when I do this show.
At my age, a fresh pair of socks at lunchtime on set during long days is a plus. Some of my crew does this too.
This is why I love him, right there.
Wow.
That's right. He's been on set so long, he's figured out a sock change makes the biggest difference in the world. Bobby, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
It's actually excellent advice.
No, it is excellent advice. It is excellent
about
advice. I'll skip the part last night of what my wife told me about my socks. But yeah, I should have done a noon change. I can see that.
Well, what I do is I wear 2 pairs of socks. That way I can just take off one and I'm ready for the next. You know.
I don't think it works out with me.
Yeah,
Gosh.
Gary. Yeah.
I got to get bigger shoes.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
maybe. All right, let's move on. Did we have another comment?
Yeah, you mentioned something about the 15% rule, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Travis Johansson. Oh, Travis Johansson. Yeah, the 15% rule is so hard. It's like the Walmart effect.
Yeah, you know what? It is not an easy thing to do. It is not an easy thing to do. You know, I'll tell you a huge advantage that I had starting out. No one wanted me. And I tell you, that was actually one of the best things that happened. I was an older guy. I was everybody's second, third call, right? I wasn't a first call,
Right.
you know, and that prevented me from getting any client that just sucked me up too much, big and much. So I had the ability now to work with, say in a year's time, 40, 50 different DPs,
That's
right?
great. That's great.
And that was such a great selection, you know what I mean, of coming up, because some people like it, some people don't, some people are looking for different talents that you might have.
Sure.
Any number of things. But boy, did that give me, by not being the number one call
Right.
in my market, I got to know everybody.
Everybody.
And you know what? Given the chance, on set with somebody for 10 hours that day, I could impress them.
Oh yes.
They
Oh,
saw
yes,
some
you can.
hustle. They
That's
saw
right.
some hustle, you know,
Sure,
and they did that. So that was really, really good on the 15%. I think we got some more. I see these guys laughing over here, so I know
the chatterbox.
I know we're gonna get it right now, Gary.
Michael Uribe wants to talk more about your hair. So.
More about my hair, Mike. We can do that off the air. That's fine.
Hey, Mike, it sounds like you're asking, why is your sound man wearing sunglasses?
No, he's actually a switcher today. I'm
Yeah,
a
I
sound
switched.
guy. I'm
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Production switch, so.
Yeah, his eyes are pretty
So why-
bloodshot.
why
Yeah.
are you-
Yeah.
It was a hard night for Sean last
Yeah.
night.
Alright.
Actually, I insist on Sean's. He's throwing daggers at me with the eyes all the time. So.
Usually he's got his awesome blue blockers.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah.
The blue blockers.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Yeah,
well,
we got
actually-
something else?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, Primos, and I know he's actually mentioned this before, but
Yeah.
drumming up business. You
Yeah.
know, he says takes his truck over to rental houses, opens up the back, and hangs out just to kind of show.
Great
people.
idea.
But he's talked about that before.
Yeah. No, that is a fantastic idea. And really, we're going to get into more of that about in some of these points too about going in and communicating. But here's one that kind of just that really ties into it, because here's something I did not do. Okay, this was, you know, because of my background, I'm much more of a loner. People think I'm more like outgoing and stuff like that. I am, but my core is a real introvert.
Right.
You know, and as somebody who really is very comfortable being alone, to be honest with you, you know, and I know why. You know what I mean? I've got myself understood enough that I know why I came.
Sure.
I'm at that place. But as I've gotten older and gotten in this business, I've become much more active and enjoying other people. You know, always attend live events is something I say because you need to mix with people. And there is no greater way to make an impression on somebody than in person. You know, on Facebook, on social media, we post who we want to be.
Of course.
And when we post who we want to be, we forget about something. That's what maybe somebody else is, you know, doesn't think that you're the best of what you want to be. They like you just the way
Sure,
you are.
sure.
You know, so when you go to an event, you start that dialogue with people, and it gets very real very quick.
Absolutely.
You know, and I find that commune with people when I'm at, say, a City Gear and NAB,
Matthews.
any of those places. That's where the real action takes place.
Right.
And nothing can beat the personal. So I would greatly tell everybody,
Any
go to live events.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I agree too. And, you know, I guess there's a couple coming up. Right,
Yes,
Vern?
yes. Well, we got Cine Gear, and I think Chapman is doing their thing. I don't know. I'll have to ask Greg Flores. Grip Rigs,
Grip
gripsupport.com.
Rigs, that's right.
Buy any of your grip equipment at gripsupport.com.
That's right.
But you know, that is, I found it now to be such a great thing, and what you learn from somebody in person that they can't post, they can't tell you.
No.
A story they relate or whatever, it's invaluable. You have to make the personal connection.
Yeah, and key and the networking is
Network.
beyond believement.
Yep.
Because it's always one little piece of information leads to another,
Yes,
and to another,
yes.
and possible work.
Yes,
That's,
yes.
That's what I always
And
found.
then the mutual introductions. You know what I mean?
I go, hey, by the way, meet my buddy over here.
How many people have I met at a live event and said, oh, you know, I know somebody here. Let me give you their number. Give them a call, or
Sure.
I'll have them call you, or whatever. You know what I mean? It always was. Here's the one I have on the last one I have this page. We have many more, but you'll love this. Never never badmouth your competition. Ever. You know, if you hate the guy with a passion, if you think he's the worst, you know what I mean? Just shrug your shoulders, you know, but don't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I know.
If you need to give somebody some information that you think may cost them money or put them in danger, that is a different thing. But that's not bad mouthing, that's warning somebody. What I'm saying about is like that off the cuff statement, like, oh, that guy's such a jerk. Oh, nobody likes him. Oh, he does crappy work. It only denigrates you. To the person that's hearing that and listening to it, they question your motivations. What are you afraid of?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's,
if you can
so
put up
much.
with everybody, like, you know, I mean, it's like your kids, you know, hey, you might be mad at your kids, but you still love them.
Sure.
You know what I
sure.
mean? And it's the same way in the thing. You may not like this guy, but he's still in your industry. He's still sort of in your family, if you will. You
Sure.
know, trust the person. What I always love, what I learned a long time ago, is the best thing that could happen is somebody hired that guy, right? Because I know where they're coming next.
Yes.
Okay? So please, if you're happy with him, please keep hiring him.
That's true.
You know what I mean? If you're not happy with him, come talk to me.
That's right. That's right. There's always a time and a place for everything.
Yes.
And I always told my guys, you know, my inner circle of guys said, hey, listen, if you're going to rip the client, you're going to rip the DP or anybody like that, we call it van talk.
Yeah,
That means
van talk,
van
truck
talk,
talk, truck talk, yeah.
You do it
Yeah.
offline.
Yes,
Offline,
yes.
always.
Yes. Do not throw it out there. Tony, we got something?
Actually, I got a question for you, bro.
Oh, Tony.
Woo-hoo.
Tony Hope calling in. Tony.
Wow,
Tony.
He'll have to invoice
first
you
time
for this
question,
question.
long time listener.
Long time listener.
First time caller.
Wow.
Actually, I want to step back about and ask you real quick about contacts, because this is something I've experienced recently. What's your opinion on people joining networking groups as far as to meet, you know, as far as meeting and you know, running into drumming up business and clients?
I think it's great. But I would not put too much into any one group or group of people. I think the consistency is have a message, have a story, and then you want to message and tell your story to as many people as you can.
The elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch, yes. You know what I mean? There's some of that. But also, here's what I would say about networking and groups is they're worthless unless you are actually in there trying to help other people. And so I think this is what's really important, is to peruse through, and this falls under the heading of what I should do and don't do, but when you join these groups, like I'm in Video Village is one of them, and I think it's a secret film society or something. I can never keep track. It kind of comes and goes, but there's places, they're great forums because I love reading it because everybody goes in there and helps the person that has an issue or they're posting in there, even if it's support or sympathy, because a lot of times I won't have an answer, but I'll put something, I go, I've been in that situation, I feel really terrible for you on that, and I do give advice and stuff like that. Not everybody's going to take my advice.
Right.
I realize that. But I think that's what's so important about it is participating in the community.
Yeah.
And Tony, were you thinking of networking groups online or meetup groups?
Actual like meetup groups.
Yeah, meetup
Yeah,
groups.
well, even more important then. That goes right back to live events. I think that's even more important than online. Yeah. So I would say absolutely do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have one more comment.
Oh, one more comment.
We do.
Yeah, we actually missed this one.
Oh.
But I want Gary to kind of talk about it. From David Winters. It says, looking good, Gary. You hooked me on the Starbucks. Client longevity. I know this trend, so I want Gary
With
to
Dave
explain
Winters,
it.
thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary, you're the Starbucks
Well,
king.
Special shout out to Dave Winters.
Dave
And
Winters,
I love
absolutely.
your videos, by the way. I
Absolutely.
watched every single one, and awesome. Love the old Betacam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave. David, you bring up a really good point. When I first got into the business and got into the rental of equipment, I always thought a great thank you, rather than just slamming an invoice out and with your hand out saying, "Here, pay me up,
Right.
pay me up." I'd slip in a little Starbucks card.
Yeah.
And, whatever, I based it, 5%, 10% of the rental. And a funny story is I remember I was giving out these Starbucks cards, and we were going through a drive-through, and I was going to pay for the client. The client looked at me and said, "Oh, no, I've got this." And I go, "Oh, what do you mean you got this?" "It says the Starbucks card that you sent me." And I go, "Wow, that's great. I'm getting rebates. I'm getting a rebate off the Starbucks card."
No, Dave, and that is a great idea. Anything you can do to keep the client at top of mind and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Of course, number one is doing a great job, but yeah, anything you can do to keep that client happy is a good thing.
Right, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a Starbucks card. It could be a movie pass, whatever you think their likes are.
Yeah, it is. But what it says to me is like somebody's thinking of me. You know what I mean? That's what you're saying to the client. I really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
And you're bridging to the next job.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, because you already got that job.
That's right.
What do you need now? Next job. And we got another one. Hey, I love the folks.
Wow. What are people off work today?
They're talking. Is there
no
a
production
holiday
going on?
Is there?
Wow.
Should we be off?
Stepping back to the networking thing.
Yeah.
Tyler Dearden, watching in Florida.
Tyler.
Thanks for watching.
My man, thank you, sir.
I work 60 hours per week at my day job, and my soon-to-be wife and I shoot weddings here in Jacksonville, Florida on the
God
weekend.
bless you.
Her photography and my films, and it's so difficult for me to meet, to network person to person, but nothing beats personal meetings, personal contact. I will meet anyone, anywhere I can, anytime I can. This man is so right. Help everyone you can.
What was his name again?
Tyler Dearden.
Tyler, brother. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to tell you that. You are doing such an awesome job, you and your wife. I just love hearing that. I love hearing that because there's a couple who are in there, and where do they start? They start at the point of the easiest opportunity they can intersect the business, which is now in its entirely its own category. It's not a starter category anymore. You're doing weddings. It's somebody who needs
business.
Documentation of the event. You know what I mean? Completely. Every skill you're learning in in those weddings will be transferred to 20 years of work. Take my word for it. You're building the basis for a 20-year cycle coming out. It is very tough being in the position that you're in. Gary and I have been both in the same position. You're the small fry, you're doing it, but what I can tell you is this: you will win 1,000% through consistency. Stick with it. Make those connections anywhere you can, online, through mutual friends, social media, whatever you have to do, but stay in contact. And don't be afraid to ask for help. It's one of the best ways you can go. Like I said, getting on these forums that you're on there, you have any questions, you see a similarity of a problem somebody's having, ask and get out there. Keep it up. Keep it up, my man. I am so glad to hear what you and your wife are doing. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and congrats on that. Husband-wife teams are really tough, especially if you're in the same business together.
Yeah.
But I will say that a wedding is probably the greatest meetup group you could be.
Gosh,
you could go to. Everybody's drunk, and you can hand out your business cards, and now you're doing their wedding.
Who's at the wedding? Who's at the wedding? Young couples. They're going to be married too.
Yes.
Yeah, so you win both ways.
Live fish.
You win both ways. What I would say to you is don't be afraid to charge. Make sure that you're raising your rates continuously there, because that is what's going to get you the better jobs, and it's going to also move you up to different jobs too.
Absolutely.
So that's really good. Tony, do we got another one or?
Yeah, we're kind of going.
Well, we do.
Kind of, and it's a good one.
It's a really great one.
Oh, thank goodness.
Travis Johansson.
Travis.
Is just mentioning that, and he's put the link in the comments, thankfully.
Covering you up.
There's a great book on keeping your best clients happy called Giftology.
Ooh, thank you so much for that.
I wrote that book. I think I wrote that book. Giftology.
Referrals, strength and retention. So.
That is so awesome. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's very good for the whole community here to look at that, and get it. But yeah, good point. Good point. So now we're going to go to longevity in this sense, but we're going to talk about something, once again, that I didn't pay much attention to my entire life, and that's health. Okay? I'm just going to tell you straight out, without much other comment on it. First of all, you need health insurance coverage. And you know what? Somewhat in ways here, I'm talking to the guys now. Because, you know, women seem to have a much better sense of taking care of their bodies than guys do.
Sure.
You know, and I started thinking and wondering why that was.
Right.
Why that was. And I thought about how I had been growing up. You know what I thought it came back to? Came back to, okay, we played cowboys and Indians, you know,
Sure.
which is kind of celebrating genocide, I guess. I don't know. But we did play cowboys and Indians. There was one line in all the Western shows that you saw, you know, hey, you better get that looked at. Oh, don't worry, it's just a flesh wound. Oh, a flesh wound? Oh, I thought it was something serious.
Yeah, let me set that light. I'll be right back.
Yeah, a flesh wound. You know, it's like, so that became.
I'll just carry it with my other arm.
Yeah, I'll just carry it with my other arm. I still got one good arm. I'm a man. You know, are you kidding? Is it 10 minutes left in this show?
buddy.
Are you kidding?
Oh.
Wow. Talk about having fun. But okay, then we're gonna go fast.
We'll go fast.
But that is it. Guys are loners. They think, oh, it hurt. You know, I worked it out. Yeah, I ran some salt on
eat another
it.
banana.
Eat another banana.
You'll get over the
have
crap.
some salad. That'll make it feel better. You know, but guys do not do that. You have to be in good health if you're going to have longevity.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even have to say any more about that, right?
Sure.
Okay. Sleep. Get 6 hours of sleep minimum every day. That's easier to say than done, but do not exhaust yourself because that takes the heart down, that takes the body down. You can't work without body. Okay, I'm gonna go to this. Be proactive in your health, not reactive in your health. If you're reacting, you've already got sick.
Sure.
You're proactive is working straight through. I did a job with the Rolling Stones one time for 3 or 4 days. I had the pleasure of meeting his personal trainer, Mick Jagger's personal trainer. And one thing he says is that for the last 30 years, they have been proactive about health. Now, Mick Jagger is a 70-something-year-old man still doing world tours, okay? And he had to call off this last world tour just to have a stent put in, which it means that at 74, he has very few problems like that. And the guy is still going strong. There's your lesson.
Sure.
There's your lesson. Anything you want to add?
Hope I don't.
I know you
have
want
to
to go
borrow your
have
stent.
you want to go have a bacon
I
cheeseburger
just-
after this. Okay. Also, I'm going to say this because I have experience with this. It's something that I've gone through. You know, you have to check your mental health too. You know, it's very easy in this business with so many disappointments, so many pressures, no guarantees ever. Look, when I get done with a job, I'm unemployed the rest of my life.
Right. There's no safety net.
My reputation has to get me my next job. You know what I mean? So that can do things to your head. That can, and also you're in a relationship with the rest of the world that's not on your schedule.
That's right.
Right?
That's
You know,
right.
think about that. Think about that. So don't be afraid to get mental help. Be in a group, talk to a counselor, talk to a therapist, have a close friend. We should all have close friends we can talk to about certain things. And your family, your wife, husband, whatever, you know. Here's something I have done for the last 20 plus years consistently, and I do see it paying off, especially now, and that's eating supplements, vitamins, supplements, things that. Don't go crazy. Don't go get every cure for everything that's out there. But a good, steady regiment of supplements and diet. I take Restival too, which is shown to be a life extender. You know, it takes a little on your.
What is it?
Oh, there's a little tail on a protein or something like that. That slows it down. But anyway, it's a grapeseed extract. It's all organic. You know what I mean?
Cool.
It's not a chemical drug, you know, or anything.
And you know, that is important because when you're on set all the time, guess what we're eating? Craft services.
Craft services.
And I call it crap services.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, Tony, we got another one?
We do.
Awesome.
Actually, with 5 minutes left, this is a.
that's
All right,
good.
give me
Here we
the big
Here we
zinger.
go. We got the big
The test
question.
final.
The test final.
Justin Cosman. Hopefully I got that right.
Okay.
What can a newer DP do to make a gaffer's job goals clearer on set or on site? Reference images, perhaps? What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? It is very difficult to talk about lighting. Lighting is a very visual thing. I know with people it's tough. Usually, here's what I do is, first of all, any reference material is huge.
Yeah.
To see a video, send a video, pictures, anything like that, do not be afraid to do that.
Right.
You know, that is really good. Even if it's just a generalized thing.
Sure.
You know, it helps. Also, I would take it down to basics. You know, start out with maybe the overall of what you want to do and use that as a description. Then try to break it down to the lights that you think you should use for that. And then go from there when talking to your gaffer, too.
Absolutely.
Another thing I find is very important when the DP is talking to me about our day and stuff like that is for either the DP or the production manager or the first AD to really lay out that day for me. Let me know what those priorities are. You have no idea how many times I've lit the first set and then it's set there all day before we come back to it. And we spend the rest of the day stealing from it when we need something on the
Right,
other one.
absolutely.
So getting that down is really, really a very important thing. So I would say that starts there. Don't be afraid to use any materials to help, including film clips, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh, absolutely. And my suggestion is always don't force the lighting. Let the lighting be natural. That's what I always say.
That's what the sound man always says.
Yeah,
to
I
the
always say
lighting
that.
guy.
I want that position. That's where the light goes.
Go ahead, Tony.
I can tell you, usually, most of the time, depending on the project, as a director,
Yeah.
usually what I will come with is a style book.
Oh, that's good.
When I'm talking to my DP.
That's
so
great.
I usually have examples, okay, for this particular scene, this is the kind of look I'd like to get.
Yes,
I'd like to
yes.
do. So if you have a director that's good and doing that kind of stuff, then that's also something a DP can share.
Yes.
You know, so this is the kind of look we're going for, and this is how we're going to accomplish that.
Yeah, yeah. And then talking about those instruments
Yes.
as well, because, you know, that's what it comes down to a lot of times. I know the type of shoots that I usually work on, we're usually, you know, and this always seems that you get down to the 2 or 3 instruments you use, and you use those consistently.
Yeah,
You know, you'll bring something
Your
else in.
paintbrushes,
Yeah,
basically.
they're your paintbrushes, exactly. Okay, you know, I'm going to say diet is hugely important. Exercise, too. That's another thing. That's something I don't do now. I need real exercise, and we all use the same excuse. Oh, I'm in production. I'm on set all day. I'm climbing up ladders. I'm doing it. Yes, that's true. But you need a regular pattern of organized exercise
Absolutely.
to stay in shape for your mental ability, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I've got back into bike riding, and it's a great deal.
Oh, yes.
And it's wonderful. And I bought an electric bike, so I let the bike do all the work. The bike looks really good.
You know what? That's what I
It's
want.
trim, it's slim, and all I
I
have
want
do
to
is
sit
plug it
on
in.
something that actually walks on the walker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So listen, I'm just going to go through these first. This was my future proof, and I think we're down to 2 minutes. Gene's telling me now. So these are my future proof for longevity, right? I'm just going to go through them. Always be searching out the newest technologies, not only in your category, but other categories. Always know what's on the horizon, what's on that next step. Study other industries. What is the path they've taken? You know what I mean? In storytelling, there's a lot of things that are coming from social media. We saw all that transfer, and it's still going on right now. So that's a big one. Make some investments. Now, I'm an old guy and I'm suffering from it, but if you're in your 20s, you know what I mean, or early times, make some investments. Make some simple investments. You don't have to be the big stock trader or anything like that.
Right.
Make something that you continually put money into so that when you are my age, there is some nest there for you. You have something to pay off this. Always have a very robust social media going on. Always be in communication with people. That's also be the person in your group, in your world, who alerts people on changes in your media industry. Like, is Facebook doing something different? Is a new camera coming up? Is there something not allowed now that you could do before? You know, be the one who's alerting your community with that, because people will come for you. Always support safety. always be a proponent of safety on set. That's very, very important. And these things do make a difference. This is about longevity, and that is what it is. And I got to go. The guys are waving me off here, but act and think as a community leader. You should be looking at everybody that you know in your industry, and you should be looking as a leader to look and see how you can help everybody do their jobs and facilitate their careers.
Yes.
Remember, this is it. You want to invest people who are invested in your success. So that investment goes both ways. Both ways. Here's another one. This is so simple. I don't do it, and I should. And because I could even tell the people I don't do this with my guest even, and I should do that. Write them thank you notes. Give somebody a 1 or 2 line message in a text, a note, an email. I don't care. Leave a voicemail on the phone or whatever. Hey, it was so great to meet you. Look forward to seeing you again. It was great. Let's stay in touch.
Follow up.
Follow up.
So
and I'm so bad at it too. I don't like that about myself. Last one, be open to change, because there's one thing I can guarantee you, it will occur. You better be open to it. If you're sitting there and it feels like you just stepped on a nail every time you see some change, then you're going the wrong direction with your head. Well, guys, I guess we got to go. I guess we're there now. Are we? Are we? We're done. Okay, we're done. We're done. The man says we're done. We will see you next week, next Friday. And remember, we are starting a new sales site. OnSetLighting.com is where it's coming from, and we're gonna have a beautiful showcase for you up there. In fact, right now, if you need any lighting whatsoever, it's info@OnSetLighting.com. Talk to Nick; he'll give you a call back. We'll get you all set up with whatever you need. We're making sales already. That blew my mind. I just did a couple shows with Nick.
Wow.
Bam! We're not even a website up now. Well, the website's up. It's called Onset University. We're transferring that over, but not even our Shopify site is up yet. So, so this is very exciting. Very exciting. But we'll see you all next week at 2 o'clock. Be there, be square. Cut. That's a wrap.